lot of flounders are hanging out here. Oh, got a big old red here. It's these beautiful reds. Baby, take that head. That's what we're looking for right there. So what we're doing today is we're fishing pretty frigid conditions. We're at the end of the winter. It's been pretty warm this week. A little mild cold front came through. So we're bundled up. We have absolutely zero sunlight. But we're fishing this time of year when it gets real cold. A lot of times, you know, which we don't have sunlight, but when we do, the sun will heat up the bridges and it'll heat up the concrete pylons that go into the water, and just that 1 or 2 degree difference can make it to where that's where the fish want to be. And we're fishing both the Highway 11 and the old twin span, a little bit of the new twin span, and these fish are up under the bridge real tight to the pylons, and we're fishing pretty cold water. But it's warm enough to where they're aggressive. They're out here, and it's something to feed. They're wanting to feed. We're throwing, right now I'm throwing a tiger bait. I got it on a 1/2 ounce GoldenEye screw lock, and we're gonna see if we can put a few in the boat. We've already made a nice little drift right here on the old twin span, catching a couple of reds, some slots, some big giant reds, even caught a nice flounder. We're gonna bounce around a little bit and pretty adverse conditions, and we're just trying to show you that even under the toughest weather conditions and at one of the more complicated times of the year, there's still fish to be caught out here. All right, the old twin span used to be one of our favorite places to fish in the whole Pontchartrain Basin. Obviously across the entire Lake Pontchartrain. So we had a 5-mile reef of a phenomenal spot. Now Katrina took the bridge out from us. The new twin span behind us is a quality spot to fish, but I really do like these round pylons that are on the old twin span. And they left a little piece of it on the north end for us as they were gonna make a fishing pier that's really never came to play. And now it's just a little section of the twin span that is left for us to fish. I'm grateful of that, but I sure wish we had the whole thing like back in the day. This is one of my favorite places to fish, and I grew up learning how to fish this and kind of mastered this. So this exact technique that we use here is the exact technique for you guys that like to fish the causeway, as it's almost an identical spot. Now what I like to do is these fish are going to be in between the gaps of each span. So I'm not going to fish it like the trestle real far off and swim it back. I'm going to get close to the bridge, throw it all the way under, and I'm going to try to graze all 3 pylons with my lure. Now I don't want to get snagged, but I want to get close enough to these pylons to where every once in a while I can feel it bumping the bridge pylon, because that's where those fish are. They are up on these pylons and they're getting behind them, using them as current breaks. And so far, on this really ugly morning we got here, cold February, not a real fun time of the year, we're getting some bites, catching some reds, flounder, and we even caught a really nice trout just a second ago. Now we're starting to run out of the span here. Again, it's not that big of a span. We've pretty much fished the whole thing. So we're gonna probably, after this drift, go try Highway 11, use pretty much the same exact technique over there, and fish this hard falling tide we got with our 1/2 ounce GoldenEyes, and just try to sweep those pylons over there and see if we can find a pattern. And when you're fishing these 2 bridges like this, you will notice that there's a pattern, whether the fish are gonna be on the left side of the poles, or the right side of the poles, or maybe they're on the first pole closest to the boat, or they're on the last pole furthest away from the boat. And if they're biting enough to where you can dial that pattern in, you could really fill the box up. Oh, got a big old red here. And now we're on the Highway 11 bridge. We're using the same technique, pitching that lure dead up underneath the bridge, grazing those pollen. And for whatever reason, you know, the little bit we've tried to trestle the last couple days, we really haven't had much success, but there is some life on the other bridges. And that's just the way it is sometimes. That's why, you know, I always say to try all three. The trestle gets a heck of a lot more attention than the other two. And I will admit, I find that it is more consistent, but sometimes the other two bridges is where you want to be. Now, there's no boats out here right now, so it's not a boat pressure thing, but when it is crowded with boats, I can't tell you how many times by fishing the other two bridges and avoiding the boats, it really helps us put a nice box of fish together, as these other two bridges just never get touched for whatever reason. Now this is, if this was a trout, we'd be happy, but we know it's not. Another beautiful red. We put several reds today. We're targeting trout, but these bridges are very well known for getting a load of reds on them, and that's been really the primary species today, is these beautiful reds. Nice slot red, right at that 7-8 pound mark. And we stay them with the old tiger bait, staying with the 1/2 ounce golden eye. I'm using the 1/2 ounce right now because the tide's falling pretty hard, and you can really control that bait and keep it next to them pollens a lot longer and a lot better. Got a little bit more contact with your bait, and rubbing those pollens is the key to catching these fish under these two bridges. Another Flounders. Another Flounders. More and more of these. Nice to see this. Maybe that hold on them where you couldn't catch them for those couple months, or keep them, shall I say, starting to pay off. Right, let's take 2 flat daddies in one day. Well, we went and tried Highway 11, caught a few. I caught a red to add to the box. Christy caught a drum to add to the box. Came back to the twin span with the tiger bait. Pretty handcuffed today. Got a light little north wind. It's really cold out here, real chilly. The water's very dirty. The Pearl River's been sky high this whole back end of the winter. And today's just one of them days that you want to travel around real far looking. It's cold. It's tough conditions. We're in a tough month. So what I advise this time of year, and under conditions like this, when it's real cloudy, foggy, nasty, cold, if you're on any kind of little bite, just stay on it, stay with it, put a box together like we have today. It hadn't been easy, but we've been catching some fish. Make sure to subscribe to our monthly bait box. The 1/2 ounce goldeneye screw lock and the tiger bait was a trick today. Those will be in your monthly bait box. I love tiger bait when the water's stained, which is what we have right now with the Pearl River being so high. But get out here. There's still fish to be caught. Come get on the action. Until next time, good fishing.